We're continuing with our coverage of the Hurriyat that's completely on the back foot. It's day 6 of the Hurriyat Truth Tapes aftermath here on India Today. The biggest sting operation in the country and one that everyone is talking about. And now a sham suspension by the arch leader of the Hurriyat conference, alias Geelani, who has now just announced the suspension of Naeem Khan. Remember, we're not fooled here at India Today. We're not going to be persuaded that this is any kind of action per se. But we do know that the temperature has become intolerable for the Hurriyat. And that's why they've been compelled and forced to do something where it could be interpreted that they are taking some kind of action and that they are not actually terrorists. Well, here at India Today, certainly we're not fooled. We're certainly not fooled. We do know that there is an ecosystem that supports the Hurriyat. Well, that's not here at India Today. We understand what the potency of the Hurriyat Truth Tapes sting operation really is, and we do know why the Hurriyat is running headless at this point of time, trying to be seen as taking action against its own. Well, that was Naeem Khan just hours before this sham suspension that has become, that is the result of the unbearable heat that has been turned up on the Hurriyat conference, including alias Geelani, who wants the country and the world to believe that he has taken action, righteous action, against this person who has been stung on camera, including taking the name of SAS Geelani as being a consort and a stooge for Hafiz Mohammad Saeed. Kamaljeet Sandhu, our reporter, on the ground in Srinagar with us on the phone line. Kamaljeet, what are the questions that the Hurriyat now needs to be asked? Because nobody is buying this sham suspension of Naeem Khan from the all-party Hurriyat conference.
Well, this is a step that they've taken. They've been under pressure for some time now, especially after the India Today expose went on air, that they need to take action. Now, this action has come by. This is a suspension, which means that Naeem Khan's options are really closing out. Remember, his own party is not backing him now. He doesn't have much of a backup, and the government actions simultaneously. But clearly, this is something which investigation agencies, and remember, at this point of time, clearly, Hurriyat conference under pressure to prove that they are not taking money from Pakistan. One of the admissions that has been made by Naeem Khan, yes, the money is coming in, but no burning down of schools has not been done, that it's not been given for stone pelting. The sting itself was a sham, but his own party doesn't seem to be buying some of his own claims now, and that is how the NI really comes into the picture. So clearly, it's not a Hurriyat conference who's giving a clean chit. It's the National Investigation Agency who's registered a preliminary inquiry, which is a PE. They will be investigating all the 4 accused. They will be asked, and they've been summoned already, and there was a no-show today, Shiv. So clearly, they have to present themselves. They have to prove their innocence before the lawmakers, and then thereafter, there can be some sort of semblance about what was really going on. Even for the NIA, it's not going to be as easy as it's being made out to be. They have to examine the tapes. They'll have to follow the money trail. This is the cross-border funding, which has been mentioned by Naeem Khan. They'll have to establish that. Just making claims is not enough. They'll have to do the process, find the banking, do his phone call records, his contacts with Pakistan. All that will be proved, and eventually a foolproof case will be made.
And many of these people, Kamal, what a lot of our viewers may not know is that many of these Hurriyat members and many of these separatist leaders, including Yasin Malik, who attacked you, have very serious cases already against them. And it's going to need some political will to actually pursue those cases against these people. And our sting operation has added even more detail, perhaps the greatest amount of detail to what these people are really about, Kamal.
Well, absolutely, including Public Safety Act. Many of the cases have been slapped against them, including provocation and anti-India sentiments. This is something, and that is why they actually call the separatists. They do not believe in the idea of India itself. But yes, many in the center feel that they are losing steam. The stone pelters do not have leader. They do not believe in Hurriyat at all. So clearly, there seems to be alienation, but it is not the Hurriyat. They may be trying to hold some youth with the power of either money or some sort of lure. There is a following within the valley itself, but that the center feels is limited now. and that their power is diminishing. So clearly, at this point of time, even as the law is closing in on them, they'll really have to prove that they don't have a connection, which is something everybody in the valley itself knows, that there is a clear Pakistan connection. But remember, it has to be proved in the court. The case has to stand. After the PE, once there is sufficient case, they remember there will be a formal FIR against all the accused, and they will be tried before the court of law.
Okay, absolutely. Kamal, stay with me for a moment, because this is clearly not enough action that's been taken by the Hurriyat. We question, at India Today, we question this action being taken by Syed Ali Shah Geelani. He is a man who himself faces charges, a man who himself has not answered many of the questions that India Today has put forward. He's a man who provides a safe haven to terrorists like JKLF chief Yasin Malik as well. Well, Naeem Khan isn't the only one to be completely rattled by India Today's expose. Yesterday, India Today's Kamaljeet Sandhu, who you just heard, cornered this particular individual, Yasin Malik, over the Hurriyat Truth Tapes expose. His response was shocking. Malik first invited our crew into his house and then attacked them. He broke their equipment and even physically assaulted our video journalist. Hours later, the former terrorist brazenly accused our crew of barging into his house and justified his actions.
एक लड़की रो रही है, ड्रामा कर रही है। इस लड़की को कोई ये नहीं पूछ रहा है कि आप किस तरीके से एक शख्स के बेडरूम में दाखिल हो गई खुद।
We told him we'll wait outside. He asked me why you are here. I told him we've been trying to call him since morning. There was no response.
इसका जो वर्शन है, हमें मारा पीटा गया। मैंने पुलिस में कंप्लेंट की है।
But he got so agitated. He came out. He snatched my phone saying I'm doing a sting. He took away my phone. He broke it. He assaulted my camera person.
Ashutosh is still with us on the phone line as well. Ashutosh, you know, the Hurriyat can, claim to take this suspension action or whatever they would like to call it. It's our job at India Today to question everything, because let's remind our viewers that this is the Hurriyat we're talking about. The Hurriyat is the subject of our sting operation. They cannot be expected to take action against their own people. So we should be very skeptical about this so-called suspension that they have claimed to take against Naeem Khan. The bigger question, Ashutosh, is of course what legal action is going to be taken against these individuals, including Naeem Khan. What are we hearing, Ashutosh? Is the government planning to take any action against Naeem Khan and the others we've exposed in our sting operation? All right, Ashutosh is not with us. We're going to try and get back to him in just a bit. Priyanka Chaturvedi of the Congress Party is with us on the phone line for a quick reaction. Priyanka, what do you make of this? Syed Ali Shah Geelani has announced the suspension, quote-unquote suspension of Naeem Khan, on the back of our sting operation. Do you buy this at all?
No, I don't, simply because I would really want to look at what action the government seems to take, considering what is coming from your sting tapes are very clearly action against the nation. So I would want to see what is the government's step, what is the government's intervention, both the state government and central government, as far as this entire group of separatists are concerned. So they suspending someone is an internal problem that they seem to be handling. But what really needs to and what would really impact is what the government would end up doing.
Absolutely. So the focus you're saying isn't about whether these people, because this is a bit of a conflict of interest. These are the guys who've been stung and now they're claiming to take action against their constituents. So what you're saying, Priyanka, is that the real spotlight needs to be on what action the BJP PDP government in Jammu and Kashmir and at the centre takes on the back of this investigation, right?
Yes, that is what I'm saying. What it doesn't help is they taking action against each other despite working towards one common goal, which is against the country, against the state of Jammu and Kashmir.
Yes.
Doesn't really solve the problems that exist there. Problems can only be resolved and challenges can be addressed if the government proactively steps in and speaks about it and speaks about the measures that they're going to take after this sting operation.
Absolutely. Thanks very much, Priyanka Chaturvedi, for joining us on that. Kamaljeet, the general sense, that, the reactions we're getting from all across, and we're going to be putting more political reactions on air in just a moment, is this. We can talk all we want about suspensions. We can talk all we want about, what this suspension really means for Naeem Khan. And we're still trying to get in word. We've got our people trying to get in word from the Hurriyat. We're asking them to clarify and tell us and answer the questions we have without intimidating and trying to threaten our reporters. But Kamal, the real focus, the real question is going to be about what action is taken by the government against these people, because we can't expect the Hurriyat to really act against its own.
Shiv, there are two-pronged questions. One is about Hurriyat giving clean chit to some of its leaders, but here they've acted against their own, which is Naeem Khan, which is unprecedented in its own way. But the fact is, it's also a measure to resolve themselves. They need a clean chit from the public. That's how this action has really happened. This is obviously an India Today impact. But what is more important is the government steps. On one hand, it is the PDP, the alliance partner of BJP, who've been asking for talks with the same Hurriyat. Now they are acting against. So clearly the centre is saying that enough is enough, and perhaps that is why we've seen an initiation of action, PE, all obviously because of the India Today expose. Now this has been done by the SIT. There have been repercussions of it. We've seen it happening over the past few days. It's also jittery Hurriyat leaders, many of them obviously overreacting to a certain situation. We saw that yesterday, we saw this today. So in a certain sense, they seem to be in the dock, and that is why they've been forced to act on Naeem Khan. But what is going to be important is how the NI follows this particular trail itself. They've been examining the India Today expose tapes. They've been going through it.
Yes.
They're preparing a list of questionnaires. They will be posing to each of the accused. And remember, once they find enough material...
Are you from intelligence? I'm not jingoist. Are you from army? Are you from intelligence? I'm not jingoist. I'm just a journalist.
एक ऐसी जाहिया मुल्क के खिलाफ जिसकी 7 लाख फौजें यहाँ कत्ले आम पर तुली हुई हैं, पाकिस्तानी फंड्स की कश्मीर में अगर कोई है, वो एक बार हमारे एक कुल जमाती हुर्रियत कॉन्फ्रेंस के लीडर शहीद अब्दुल गनी लोन को एक बार उन्होंने कहा, तो उन्होंने कहा हमारे लिए शीरी मादर है। पाकिस्तान का पैसा जो है कश्मीर में अगर कोई लेता है तो वो उसकी सैंक्टिटी कश्मीर में है, हिंदुस्तान के पैसे की कोई सैंक्टिटी कश्मीर में नहीं है।
Now, we here at India Today have respect for other journalists working in Srinagar, but I can tell you that nobody else but India Today is asking the tough questions of Naeem Khan. That's why in that soundbite you saw him sitting back in his chair, comfortable with a grin on his face, trying to defame India, trying to attack the Indian state. We will never permit that here on India Today. The tough questions that our reporters ask are not being answered by him because he knows he's completely in the dock. We're going to keep the spotlight on what action is being taken against them. Remember, we will remain skeptical on what the Hurriyat is doing among its own. Can you ever expect the Hurriyat that has been stung and blown open by this sting operation to actually conceivably act against its own? We certainly don't here at India Today, and that's why we're going to continue to ask those questions. What is the BJP-PDP government planning to do? Doesn't this warrant decisive and immediate action?